Standing and just lifting and rolling your shoulders and just going very, very gently from side to side. Moving all your energies. The instruction, I mean, this is a freestyle movement, but if you were to have an instruction, it would be to aim your navel or your navels directing the turn, the flow of the turn, but it really doesn't matter. Just enjoy this movement. Your heels can lift or they can stay. It's slightly easier for me to lift my heels. And your hands can just sway or they can go a little bit higher to almost slap your shoulders. It's up to you. It encourages free flow of energy throughout the body, but of course through the body includes the mind and the emotional body as well. So it's just very freeing. And then just come to reduce your flow somewhat, just slightly from side to side. And then just come to standstill. Just shake your arms, almost feel that you're moving them from the elbows. And then just circle your hands one way as you go up. Hold the breath. And then circle your hands as you come down. And again, like the sun rays, circle your hands up and stretch your fingers out, representing almost like the rays of the sun. And then release your stretch and just circle your hands back down again. And just open and crunch or open your fingers and just let them relax, or even make a fist in. Open and relax, and open and relax. And then once more lift and roll your shoulders. As you breathe in, raise one arm. It can be bent at the elbow, and then straighten it if that's accessible and available to you. If not, then stay with it up. And breathing out, turn your head away from the arm. Breathing in, come back to the centre, and breathing out, just very gently lower your arm down. And breathing in as you bend the other arm, raising it as high as you feel comfortable. If it's fully up, then just close to your ear. Breathing out, turn away from that outstretched arm. Breathing in, come to the centre, and breathing out, lower your arm back down to the side. And lift and roll your shoulders. Place your hands on your waist and optionally just lift your heels. I've gone wrong straight away. And having lifted your heels, you can bring your heels towards the floor but keeping them a millimetre off the floor, and then just lower your heels. It's testing your balance. And standing here with your hands on your waist like this is seemingly doing nothing, but it is actually opening space for your lungs and opening up under your arms, which is part of your lymph system. Just relax your arms. And then breathing in, just gently raise your arms up. Clasp and reverse so that the palms are up towards the ceiling. Press your feet down. Breathing out, go to one side and feel that you're lengthening to come over and that the head is between the arms evenly. And then breathing in, coming up, tummy or lower abdomen engaged. And breathing out, come to the other side, trying to see that your head is between the two arms. You can tuck your chin into your chest. Breathing in, come to standing again. Breathing out, slightly turn to one side, only as much as you feel comfortable to turn. And breathing in, coming back to the centre. And breathing out turn to the other side. And breathing in, come to the centre. Release your clasp and lower your arms to shoulder height. If your arms are heavy, you can always keep a bend in your elbows. Breathing out, turn your head to one side, looking beyond the third finger of that hand. Breathing in, come back to the centre, and breathing out, turn your head to look beyond the third finger of the other hand, and come back to the centre, and then lower your arms very gently by your side, and lift and roll your shoulders. Come to slide your hands down your legs, and let them rest on your shins. Press your hands into your shins and have a sense that you're lengthening from your tailbone all the way along your back to the top of your head. Your chin tucks in. Breathing out, bend your knees and bend your elbows out to the side. How much you bend is up to you. Breathing in, press your hands once more against your shins and feel that length along the back of the spine. Or along your back, along the spine. Breathing out, bend in. And then breathing in, press your feet into the ground, and you can use your hands to help you as you trace your movement back up to standing. And then lift and roll your shoulders. And clasping your hands behind you, aim your knuckles to the ground. So you're going to be opening your shoulders. And breathing out, turn to one side. Breathing in, come to the centre. And breathing out, turn to the other side. Come to the centre. And then bend your knees. This is optional, by the way. And you can either lift your arms up behind you, or you can place your hands on your lower back. And feel that your elbows are slightly not coming forward, they're just back to open your shoulders still. Press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And inhaling, raising your arms upwards. And breathing out, lowering your hands. So this next one, either hold your wrists or hold your elbows. Or if you can, come to reverse prayer, which brings your fingers together. This is particularly helpful because it opens your lung, your meridians on their little fingers, but harder to do. And just take whichever position you feel is right for you. Again, try and open your elbows, which is not the easiest thing to do. And turn to one side. Breathing in, come back to the centre. Turn to the other side, come to the centre, and optionally again, just bend your knees and come forward. Feel that your elbows are out, and then press your feet down as you come up. And inhaling, I'll come and face you. Come to the centre, stretch your fingers up, and breathing out, lower your hands. And then once more, inhale, lift and roll your shoulders. And this time, bring your hands below your navel. Inhaling, breathing in. When you get to about halfway, reverse your hands and go up. Press your feet into the ground. Breathing out, go to one side. Feel or try and have your head between your arms evenly, chin tucks in. Press your feet down as you breathe in as come up. Start your breath out and then make the move to the other side. Finish your movement and finish your breath, ideally. Inhaling, come up. Breathing out, turn to one side. Breathing in, come back to the centre and really stretch up. Breathing out, turn to the other side. Breathing in, come to the centre, stretch up and stretch slightly back. If your chin will allow, look up slightly. Come with your head back to the centre and then lower your arms as you breathe out. And step your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart to support you as you bend down. Now then, how much you bend down is up to you. You can slide your hands right the way down, or a little bit. When you're comfortable, clasp your hands together and reverse them down to the ground. So the palms of the hands are facing downwards. Breathe out, turn to one side, over one foot. Breathe in, come to the centre, and breathe out, turn to the other side, and come back to the centre. And then you can stay like this, or you can start to bend your knees even further. And again, how much is up to you. You can place your hands on the ground and bend your knees a little bit, or you can come to a full squat. You can have your heels off the ground or not. You can use your hands to support your weight. The benefit of this, or the target of this in this particular case, is to open the lower back muscles. And take an in and an out breath here. And then using your hands on the floor to support you, come up a little bit. You're still in a forward bend. Bring your feet pointing forwards if you move them out. And then take your hands behind each calf. Elbows come in and just hug in, bending your knees. It's again the weight of your upper part of your body, your torso, is being supported by your legs. And again, you'll feel this lovely stretch on your lower back, bending your knees as much as you need to. Bring your hands around to the front of your shins. Press down to your shins as you gradually slide your hands up or come up to a standing position, vertebra by vertebra. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then this will be very familiar to most of you, I think. Hands out. And think of the bird as you bend your knees, lowering your arms, breathing in, just lifting up. So this forms, you'll find this movement in the practices of Qigong and Tai Chi, both very Eastern. And this moves all your joints. So starting at the bottom, you are pressing weight into your feet, your ankle joints, your knees, your hips are slightly moving. As you lift your wings up, you're stretching, giving space to your lungs. Stretching the connective tissue around your heart and your diaphragm. Moving up further still, you've got your shoulders, you've got your elbows, you bend your elbows like a bird, and then stretching out. You're bending your wrists, and the air travelling through your fingers is connecting to the sense of touch with the air, but also to the element of air linking to your heart, but also your respiratory function. So it's very beneficial, really, for all ages. You can bend, if you were going to be energetic, lower. You can open your arms out and really stretch, or just keep them bent in. And just this a few times a day on its own is really helpful to keep all our muscles and joints gently moving. And then just come to place your hands below your hara, but in this very Eastern Chinese system they call it a dantian. Breathing in, reverse your hands, going up, over your head, coming back down again to the dantian. So this seemingly simple movement as you breathe in, going over your head and coming back, clears, it forms a physical barrier between you and the outside world, all the vibrations, so it breaks the connectivity with the outside world, so it's actually clearing your magnetic field. And if you've had a very busy mind, it's very useful for clearing that. And then just lowering your hands below the dantian, just connecting. The Far East believe that this point, in yoga it's called the hara, in as a Tai Chi and certainly Qigong it's called the dantian, is believed to be the centre of the entire body, not the brain. So which is very interesting, the brain, belly, gut kind of connection. So the basis of Eastern medicine is very much on the digestive system, on your core being strong, and this is that point. Standing like this and owning your centre, if someone came and pushed you, you are less likely to fall over in this position because you're really in your centre than if you are standing off centre. So in martial arts, that's very crucial to your survival. So just releasing your hands and just lifting and rolling once more. And once more, coming up, we're repeating some of this, reversing your hands, just really to get into the whole body, opening it up. Breathing out. Press your feet down as you stretch up and then come over. Press your feet down to stretch up and then keeping that lift, come over to the other side and see if that makes a difference. Coming up to the centre and breathing out, just slightly turn. Come to the centre and breathing out, turn to the other direction. Come to the centre. Just lift your heels here, see how good that is or not. And breathing out, lower your heels. A balance focuses your mind and invites the left and the right side of the brain to communicate. And then just releasing your arms and bringing your hands back down to your waist. Breathing out, just bend your knees. Your bottom slightly goes away from you. And this, you will feel your lower abdominal muscles engaging. And then come back up to standing again. And just lift and roll your shoulders. Keep your hands on your waist this time as you breathe out and look towards one shoulder. Breathing in, come to the centre, and breathing out, look over the other shoulder. And coming to the centre. Slide your hands down your knees as you bend them. And just place your hands wherever they fall naturally on your shin as you breathe in, lengthening along your back. Breathing out, bend in. Breathing in, lengthening. Stay here as you breathe out. And now as you next breathe in, soften your knees, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra once more to standing. And lift and roll your shoulders. Clasping your hands behind you, opening the shoulders. This actually physically opens your chest. And you can feel that chest opening. It stretches the connective tissue linking your diaphragm right the way through to your heart. So it's very very safe heart opening. Turning to one side, come to the centre. By the way, that safe heart opening is used by the recovery for heart attack and post-operatively in London for heart surgery and heart issues. Come to the centre and just release your hands, lift and roll your shoulders. And once more, either hold here, or do the reverse prayer. Those little fingers touching is very valuable. You can often leave that out, but that connects into part of our energy meridians. So it is helpful, but not always possible. Turn to one side, come to the centre, and turn to the other side, and come to the centre. And then release your hands, lift and roll your shoulders, and raising up, stretch your fingers, and then just releasing and coming down. So once more, stand with your feet hip width apart, and imagine you're holding a ball, soft ball. You're leading the movement with your elbow, and you can turn your feet and your body, of course. Breathing out, turn to one side. I'm lifting my heel, and then reverse your ball so that you're turning to the other side. And then reverse. And reverse. It's an exercise in shifting the weight from side to side, so it gives balance to each side. And this very gentle floaty movement, I feel it in my head as well, as the body or the head moves as well, and everything just floats from left to right and right to left. So it is a total body rebalancer to explore your weight from one side to the other, keeping in constant movement. So there's no start or finish, there's no jerking, it's just a fluid, gentle movement. And then come to holding your ball, whichever arm's on top, it doesn't matter, that's central. And then just release your hands, lift and roll your shoulders. Come to the top of your mat, breathing in. Raise your hands up as far as they can go. If you can look up, lovely. If not, look ahead. Breathing out, really bend your knees and come to place your hands on the ground, either side of your feet. Step or slide your right foot back. Your right knee goes on the ground. Just feel that stretch in the hip. And then slide your left foot back. You're kneeling in cat. Take a moment to adjust your knees and your hands so that they're comfortably apart. Inhaling, dipping your back, looking either up or along the ground, depending on your neck. Breathing out, rounding. Your chin comes to your chest. That's activating the vagus nerve. Tuck your toes underneath if you had untucked them. And come into a very soft dog, moving your hands as you feel is appropriate. Your bottom moves away from your wrists. You can make any adjustments for your hands and your feet. And then start to straighten your legs, maybe one leg at a time, walking the dog. Bend one knee, straighten the other, and then reverse. Your heels don't have to touch the ground. You just feel that you're stretching along your back. Bend both knees and extend both legs. And then bend both knees, really bend them and come back down to the ground again. And then moving your hands to the left. That gives space for your right leg to lift up your right leg. Hands either side of your right foot. Just come forward again. You can afford to let your knee go slightly beyond the 90 degrees because you're supporting your weight with your hands either side. But then come back to the 90 degrees to tuck your back left toes under. Your lower abdomen engages slightly to support you as you lift your back left knee and step your left foot towards your right foot. Hands go on the shins. You breathe in, lengthening along the back spine. Breathing out, bend your knees and bend your elbows, tucking in the vagus nerve, which is indicating the inflammation is being activated, so it's de-inflaming. That's not quite the right word, but you know what I mean. Inhaling, lengthening your spine. And stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, press your feet into the ground, bend your knees, and roll up gently, vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lifting up, stretching your fingers and breathing out, lowering your hands. And once more, inhaling, lifting your hands up, stretch your fingers, breathing out, roll down vertebra by vertebra to the ground. Inhaling, step or slide your left foot back, the left knee goes on the ground. Right foot back, you're kneeling. Inhaling, you can keep your feet tucked or flat. Dip your back, cat, looking either along the mat or up. Breathing out around your back and tuck your toes if they're not already as you come into a very soft downward dog. Feel free to adjust your feet wider and keep your knees bent. Walk the dog. This is an inversion, among other things, and an inversion is always very good for rebalancing your glandular or endocrine system, your hormonal system. And you can bend both knees and extend both legs. And then bend both knees completely to come back down to the ground, into cat again. And move your hands this time to the right, which gives space for your left foot to come up, hands either side again of your left foot as you just come forward slightly, stretching out your hip, supporting your upper weight with your hands so there's no weight on your knee. Then come back to a 90-degree angle, tucking your back right toe, lifting up your right knee and stepping your right foot towards your left foot, and hands now on your shins as you inhale, lengthening along the spine, breathing out, bending your knees and elbows in, inhaling, pressing as you lengthen, and stay here as you exhale, and breathing in, soften your knees, really press your feet down, your big toe and your little toe, as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Inhaling, raising your hands up and breathing out, coming down. Bring your hands together at the heart, just straightening you up, realigning your body. Drop your hands and clasp them behind your back. Lift and roll your shoulders, clasp your hands, and aim your knuckles to the floor. Separate your hands and slide the hands down the backs of the legs. Once more to the floor. Step back with your right foot, right knee on the ground. Left foot, left knee. Inhaling, dipping your back, looking up or along the mat. Breathing out, rounding. Chin comes to chest, and tap your toes as you lift up your knees and come into your soft downward dog. I'm moving my feet to adjust so you can do whatever feels good. Walking the dog a couple of times. Make sure that there's no tension in your neck, your head is just relaxed. And then both legs extend into dog. And then once more, bending your knees back down to the ground. Hands go to the right. Left foot comes up. Hands either side, just to stretch that hip. And then come back. And then tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, and step your right foot towards your left. Hands on the shins, lengthen along the spine. Breathe out, bend in. Inhaling, straighten, hands on the shins. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften your knees, press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Raise your hands up and hold your thumbs together as you then just sway from side to side like a swaying tree, balancing once more the left and the right side of both the body and the mind. And then come to the centre as you lower your hands and lift and roll your shoulders. Gently bend your knees and come down to a seated position, wherever that works for you, and come with your legs stretched out in front of you. Take the flesh out from underneath your bottom. Use a cushion if you need a cushion. And just bounce your knees, bounce your legs. Just get a vibration in your legs. And then extend your heels, toes up. Toes point away from you. The more you point your toes, the more you stretch the top and back of your foot, so that goes into your lymph. Inhaling, toes up and toes away. And then very gently start to circle the ankles in one direction. If you wanted to be very thorough about it, you would breathe in as your toes go up towards the ceiling and breathe out as your toes circle and go down or away from you. Breathing in as they come back up to centre. It slows your breath down. But however you want to do that is beneficial. And then reverse your circle. And stretch your toes out and just relax them. If you want to curl them over, do, with a warning about not getting cramp, but it's a nice warm day, so maybe that we won't do that. Stretch toes out, and then just curling in. Cramps, what I mean is that it's less likely to get cramp on a day like today. And then just bring your legs into a V. Bend up your one knee, I don't mind which. Have support under that leg if you need it. Your outside leg is stretching out with your toes up. Just lightly touch your hands either side of you to lengthen your body. And then breathing in, hands up. And you can reverse if you want to. Turn slightly towards the outstretched leg. Now then, if Nikki were here, she would just bend straight over. But therapy very much bends the elbows to support the back, and then you come down, so whichever works. Just slide your hands down towards your shin, and feel the opening in the hip of your bent leg. Inhaling, slide your hands up again, becomes a dynamic movement. Breathing out, come to place your hands on your shins, however you want to. Breathing in, slide your hands up. And breathing out, slide your hands down. Leave your the hand of if your left leg is stretched out, leave your left hand on your leg, or if your right leg is stretched out, your right hand is on your leg. And then open the other side out, hand on the waist. So when you're in triangle, for instance, you need to think about opening here, and it really lengthens along your side and opens out. The second you come forward, you've lost the integrity of the pose. So just enjoy your chin tucks in slightly. Just enjoy that opening. Come upright. I'm going to place my right hand, because my left leg is stretched out, behind me, and then just raise your hand of the straight leg. I'm raising my left hand and looking up towards the thumb. Take an in and an out breath here. And then lower my hand. I'm going to hug my bent knee in, just a nod to stretching out the lower back, and just slightly come forward. And then support that leg as you come back out to your V. Just bounce your knees, and then bring in the other leg. So I'm bringing in my left leg. The sole of your foot doesn't have to touch the inside of your leg, it's just in the general direction. And the more you stretch your leg out, the easier it is. So just come to where it suits you. This action of turning your leg out is beneficial to the lymph system on the inner leg, the inner groin. But you're also just taking a nod to the piriformis muscle, which is a little muscle very implicated in lower back issues. In some people who have back issues. And coming forward is calming to the nervous system. So just touch your hands on the ground to lengthen your spine. Breathing in, raise your hands. You can reverse them or not, whichever. I'm going to turn towards my outstretched leg, and then I'm going to separate my hands, bend my elbows as I come sliding down towards my shin. The back of my neck is long, my chin is tucked in. So this is naturally calming for the brain and the nervous system. Inhaling, slide your hands along, coming up. And breathing out, bend your elbows and just slide your hands down. And inhaling once more, coming up. Holding the breath a second, and then breathing out, sliding your hands down. And just staying here. And then coming up. Take hold of your bent leg. Support it as you bring it upright. Just hug it in. As how you want it. The closer you hug it in, the more of a movement it is, but you can have your foot out. And just slightly come forward to enjoy that forward movement. balancing each side. And then just release your legs. Place your hard hand either side of you, and then just slide your hands down your shins, coming forward as little or as much as you like, using your hands on your legs, or you can have your hands on the floor as well, if that works, to support you in a classic forward bend. So the previous movement that we did just very slightly involved a rotation. We just turned towards the outstretched leg. So this is really compensating for any movement away from the centre of the spine as we come forward. And once again, it's calming for the nervous system. Your vagus nerve is activated, which is helpful for any inflammation. And you have got your spine, the vertebra is being very nicely stretched, so you're encouraging the breath to come into your lungs, back of your lungs, but also your kidneys deep inside with the adrenals on top are getting a chance to just have blood go into them as everything is encouraged into the back. And then very gently slide with your hands up and come into a gentle cross-leg position. If that's not good for you, then choose something that is quite helpful for you. And again, just sit upright. If you want to extend your body, just checking, just put your hands on the ground either side, just lengthens you up, and just bring your hands back to your knee. Your hands can be in Jnana Mudra, either finger and thumb together, hands down or hands up, or just be comfortable. So breathing in, raising your hands up, touching. Breathing out, lowering your hands back to where they were. Breathing in, raising your hands up. Breathing out, lowering your hands back down to where they were. And breathing in once more, raising your hands up. Breathing out, lowering your hands. Take an in and an out breath here. And then bring your hands to your heart. You're connecting to the heart energy, the sun as well, the Surya, another centre. There's the lower dantian, but this is another centre. So breathing in, just opening your hands to wherever is comfortable, either a little bit out or right out. Breathing out, bring your hands back to the centre, and you could just slightly lower your chin to the chest. Breathing in, raising your arms out. Breathing out, chin comes once more to chest. And breathing in, opening, and breathing out, chin to chest. Just stay here for a couple of moments. Taking an in and an out breath. And then bring your head gently up to upright and lower your hands. Breathing in, you can either mentally think of or physically, as we go through the body, touch the feet and then bring your hands back to centre. You can bring your hands in a little circle to the heart and just connect with the lower abdominal area and bring your hands back to your heart. Circle your hands very gently and bring your hands to your navel, connecting to your digestive energy. And bring your hands back to your heart. Circle your hands again and bring them to the heart, connecting to your heart once more. The centre or the sense here is the sense of touch, the element of air, and then circle your hands again and bring them to the throat. Connected to the respiratory centre, and it's where we speak our truth or we don't speak our truth. And whereas, as it's obvious, the neck joins the head and the body, the neck also emotionally represents the link or the bridge between our body, what we actually do, and our mind, what we might want to do. And there's often a difference, so there's a disconnect. So stress can show up here in the form of various ailments, sore throats, laryngitis, but also this connects in the glandular system to the thyroid and the parathyroid, and they're both connected to our metabolic control. And another note for the thyroid is that if you're perpetually stressed, long-term stress exhausts the adrenals, and the adrenals connect to the throat in the thyroid, and that is where autoimmune conditions can take root. If they have a slight predisposition, that's how they kind of get into our system through that route. Inhaling, just circling your hands and bringing your hands to your third eye. Centre of intuition, centre of knowledge, but also connecting into other glands of the pineal and the pituitary, and that's also linked into our metabolic control. And then finally circling your hands and coming to the crown of your head. Very soothing, you're connecting to little pressure points on your skull that you would never necessarily know were there. And they are little dents in your skull where the nerves and the blood cross over. So this is very soothing for a lot of people to hold the crown and connect to the whole of the body. And then just release and relax your hands, bringing them back once more to the heart. Taking an in-breath and an out-breath, and now taking a bow for yourself to have a lovely rest of the day ahead. And thank you everyone very much for joining me.